Welcome to DCL Talk Show. I'm not calling it exciting week, but I'm bits disappointed and surprised with the way Division One games happened. Okay, so because in my opinion, or at least what I thought was uh, Division One is more competitive than Division Two. Well, at least I should not say use the word competitive, but I was expecting very close games in Division One more than in Division Two. But somehow uh, the my expectation flipped. All the Division One games have become one-sided, whereas there was a dogfight in Division Two. Yeah, every team fought till the end, uh, and and one team ended up losing. I mean, win and lose is part and parcel of the games. So, uh, so with that, I'll welcome our guests, our analysts, and then we'll start getting into our games. Welcome to the show, Pradeep.
Thanks, Jagan. You rightly pretty much summed it up. Uh, the, this particular week was a shocker, uh, and something for us to chew on while we go through the introduction. As you rightly said, and I think in the last radio show, will the break hurt the teams? And it looks like in Division One, it definitely did. So. Having said that, I'm looking forward to talking about the games and the next weekend's predictions as well.
Okay, so see, the break knocked out at least two or three teams.
Three teams,
Three teams
in
out of
Division One. Yeah,
yeah,
it was flipped on the Division Two. All the 3 out of 4 teams who had the break won in Division Two.
yeah,
In
yeah,
Division One, it was the opposite.
yeah. Welcome to the show, Jesse.
Thank you, Jagan, and welcome to all the listeners to another exciting week of DCL Radio Show. And we are almost on the verge of getting to know our finalists for this year's DCL in both Division 1 and Division 2. So, for a change, we will have 4 finalists this year, which would be another great thing for the tournament, and looking forward to the show and some exciting games this weekend.
So when you mentioned that one, Jesse, I wanted to bring this point. In the Division One, if you look at the teams, all the teams except Pokeries won the championship. So most of the people, I mean, that I talked, they want Pokeries to win it all because you call it sympathy or you call it, talent, but um, most of the DCL, those who are playing, um, those who love DCL, somehow they want to see a new winner, as usual, which is, as a spectator, uh, everybody wants a new winner than somebody who already won. So I just thought of mentioning this one. Welcome to the show, Sravan.
Thank you, Jagan Bhai. Hello, everybody. One more exciting week. Semi-finals coming up, but quarterfinals. Oh boy. Division 2 firing it up. Division 1 taking it one-sided. So
Yeah.
champions fighting between themselves, but no fight.
So let's see. Let me ask you guys: are you guys, uh, you know, disappointed like me? I mean, I was disappointed with Division Two because every game is, it was one-sided game. Pradip, what do you say?
You mean
What do
Division
you think?
One, right?
Division One, yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. And this. I don't know. This is. I would like to put this out to Jesse and Sravan too. The break, right? And this is important. And Division One, these are teams that are pretty evenly matched. I want to say, and having momentum going into the quarterfinals, winning the first playoff game, right, builds a lot of confidence. And the week break, you could argue one way or the other because Division Two was the complete opposite. But in closely contested games or evenly matched teams, the momentum does matter. And to me, I personally feel with a couple of games here, it could have affected. I definitely think KRCC was not mentally ready or prepared. And Indus Thunders, I believe, had the same issue. Titans, there was a question mark in my mind, even though they've done really well this year. But I do believe the experience of the Stars, I think, probably had a lot more to do with Titans having a break. But the Glads, Thunders, GLCC, KRCC, I do believe the break definitely hurt Thunders and KRCC, simply because GLCC was coming in with a lot of confidence, guns blazing. Glads kind of getting there as well. But they were coming in with a lot of momentum, I think, and that does matter in playoffs. That confidence, that momentum, and I do believe that KRCC and Thunders were somehow impacted by it. But that's just my personal view, obviously. But yeah, it was, to me, it was just totally disappointing. I was expecting really closely contested games, all four of them, and we'll get into GLCC, KRCC, but I was shocked to see GLCC score 160 and the way they scored 160. So just you can, I'm sure, will add more to the discussion here. But yeah, I do agree with you, Jagan.
Jesse, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there is no denying the fact that Division One games didn't live up to the expectations. That's 100% true. If anybody has, or if anybody would try to go against it or try to give another logic, I would think that has to be that can be considered under the bracket of excuse. But yeah, this also goes to show that you just cannot win a game of cricket, especially against an opponent who has the quality. There is always a little less, little more to one eye, and somebody else would feel that, okay, no, this is not going to be that much of a difference. Uh, I think if one person goes uh, to play the knock of his life or bowls a spell that can define the game, it can change very quickly. That is totally understandable. But uh, I I think you have to play a game of cricket like there is not going to be tomorrow. And until you do that as a team, not just as an individual, but as a team, these things will keep on happening to any of the team, whether it is KRCC, whether it is Thunders, Titans, or anybody. But I think to soak up that pressure of a playoff game and still be able to be in a game, because uh, there has not been any team who hasn't been on the losing side of a playoff game, of a big game in the past. Anybody who plays the game will be put under pressure. But the disappointing thing that I really like to point out here is why these games are one sided is because in most of these games the the team that has lost has not been even able to put up a stance that, okay, there is an outside chance. Like, uh, I know the requirement is tough. I know uh, the target is stiff. I know we have lost a few wickets or things like that, but we are still somehow keeping up a partnership. We are somehow still bowling an 8 over or 6 over or 5 over spell that can have a chance to bring us back into the game. But that was not the case, and that is the most disappointing factor in Division One. But like everybody is saying, kudos to everybody in Division Two. They have been I think the extra motivation that we are seeing in Division Two is is to be credited to a fact that they have not found themselves into these scenarios too often in DCL. I know most of these guys would play year-round cricket, T-ball, and would merge with one team and be playing there. But DCL, the special spice of the DCL is that most of the core always remains the same about all these teams, and and every team wants to do well come the DCL because uh, that's the team I think everybody choose to play with his best of the buddies, and uh, they play merging with somebody else in other tournaments. But in DCL, you want to win as a group, you want to win with your buddies, and I think Division Two is showing that hunger. Is even the team that have lost can hold their heads high and be very very proud of the fact that they've given their 100% on the field, and it's the cricket that has ruled in Division Two. While I think it's just the reputation or uh, or the individualism that was more to be displayed in Division One rather than the team game and the cricket.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's about the reputation than anything else. Shravan, your thoughts on why uh, Division Two games were tight, and whereas the Division One is not that. I mean, I would say one-sided.
Right. I will basically state it in a different sentence, Jagan. Basically, Division 2, like we talked about, there is no pressure. They're all kind of equal strength teams. There are some good teams, obviously, that were pulled down into this Division 2 because of point system, but they believe they're equal teams. And they showcase those believing in that we have the caliber and we can go deliver because there's no pressure of expectation. Yes, they're playing quarterfinals, it's a knockout, but they're coming with good confidence from league stage, and that's why they're in that zone of a knockout game. Now, when you compare with Division 1, you look at Division 1 league stage, it was always bloodbath, right? There's always strength and weakness they were searching for. There's always tight games played, even in league stage. There are no more one-sided games that we saw in the past. There was always like tight games. Now, some teams that excelled in leagues obviously made it to playoffs. And in playoffs, the teams that exceeded well above expectations took a rest. I don't know if rest causes an upset or a lag in confidence, but the teams that played three quarters had the inrush, and the teams that won three quarters had more to prove because they're coming with some practice and also they have the game planning going into it. Now, obviously, the pressure in Division 1 is a little higher. There's no doubt about it, but the skill is equally played in both sides. Now, if you look at the last year champions game, or if you look at KRCC game, or if you look at Indus game, right? Right. KRCC is a strong team. They've been doing this business for a long time, and they've been proven to be the winners, right? And openers of GLCC put them in attack right away. Maybe they didn't have answers. I don't know. Maybe they were out of ideas. I don't know. But the skill, both teams had the skill, but one of them came attacking, the other one probably went into shell right away. And the scoreboard pressure made that game go one-sided, in my opinion. And then somebody like Jesse, who was a champion, and he's always a champion, coming 10 down won't help because he can swing the game for you. So,
You are asking all my questions.
Right. I don't want to put him in the spot, but the game sense matters. The experienced players should come in and try to change something odd, which somebody might think of. Maybe those are things that didn't go well in Division 1 because they have a lot of experience, but maybe the game sense was lacking. That's why the game sense, whoever played well, the Glads has a lot of experience. They put Indus under pressure. GLCC is coming with energy. I even predicted GLCC to win last week, if you remember, because I know Vamshi, I know what team he formed, I know the caliber. Nothing to take away from KRCC, but I know that team has something extra. Okay, that's why I picked it. And coming to Division 2, there are no expectations. They know their strengths. They're playing to their strengths. That's why you saw close games. That's the only way I can put it.
And Shravan, I completely agree with you on your assessment about Jesse coming number 11. I don't understand.
You guys are discussing on my questions. Okay, those are the questions I reserved for
Okay.
Jesse later in the show. So okay,
Okay.
okay. Let me ask one last question and let's get into the games. See, at least from going forward now onwards. Uh, this is my belief, and history also supports that one. The team that has good bowling attack is the one that is going to win generally playoffs. That's what we'll say, from semifinals to the finals. Okay, do you guys agree or not? Or
Yeah. Well,
okay,
so let me. Can I answer that question?
yeah.
All right. So it's look. You should. I mean, if that was the case, really, KRCC, in my view, is probably in the top two from a bowling side, right? And look what happened to KRCC. So yes, you need the talent. Don't get me wrong, but on that day, you have to be able to execute. Okay. You can have the best talent in the world, but if they don't execute, that bowling unit that everybody thinks is good, if they don't bowl well or don't bowl well to the expectations, then you're going to get a completely different outcome. And a perfect example of that is ULCC KRCC game, right? So yes, you on paper you need that talent, but on that game day you need to show up. If you don't show up, you can forget it. That's my view, anyway.
Just
Execution, I would put more points on execution and confidence and the experience, not to be rattled by additional pressure. I mean, things will go in a game, right? You have, 50 overs that's played, 25 overs each. Each 5 over is what I call as a part. And you're going to lose momentum between 5 overs, 10 overs, 15 overs, whatever. But the team that holds it all together and understands what's going on and remains cool and calm is going to come out ahead, right? And a perfect example of that is Stars and Titans. I mean, look at the scorecard. Titans were slow in the beginning, but they held their wickets. In the end, they were able to go score runs. So they knew, yes, the score is not up to par, but we have the bench strength. We have the guys behind whoever's out there in the middle of the inning know that the guys behind them is going to back them up, right? That
you're talking
confidence,
about Titans. Which Titans you're talking about?
Detroit Titans, right?
Did you
Stars,
Detroit Titans?
yeah, Detroit Titans Stars. If you look at the Stars batted first, right?
Yeah.
You look at the run rate of Stars until the 20th over, it was not great. But the
Okay.
last
It's
five
when you
overs,
said it, it sounded like Titans were slow. So that's where I got a little confused. Yeah.
yeah, no. So Stars
Okay.
held it together, and then they knew they had to keep it together, not panic, because they know the guys behind them are going to come and score, right? So you have to break that game down, a match down into 5 over components, and you're going to lose momentum in between. There's no doubt. But the team that holds it together and say, hey, it's okay, we got you guys. We have the strength behind you, whether it's bowling, batting, fielding, whatever. We will get there, right? That confidence has to be there, but you have to execute. And if you don't execute, then that's where you play the game, right? You don't know who's going to win. So I think the perfect example of that is KRCC panicked, in my view, and Stars on the other side held it together and got to a score where Stars got pretty good bowling lineup to defend that 100, right? So that's my view anyway. Is you can have the talent in the world, but if you guys don't show up, then you're not going to win the game.
Okay, Jesse, your thoughts. Is it the bowling that is going to win going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say it is the bowling that is going to win because for me personally, the classic example is Detroit Titans. They They arrived at the top of the league mostly because of their bowling. They will poise a lot of challenge whenever given a chance to any opposition batting, because they, like, I've played a lot of guys. Uh, I played with them. I've played against them. I've seen them for a long time now. Whenever they are bowling, they look like they are on a mission. But if you cannot back that bowling performance, or even if stars would have been bundled for 65 or 70 maybe, there, with the way Titans batted, I don't think it has got to do anything with the scoreboard pressure. So if you cannot compete at all in the batting, there will be no advantage of having a super, super solid or a well settled bowling lineup. But yes, what T-ball presents to you is a definite edge if you have bowlers who are in form. And, like, we should also discuss what is good bowling. Like, a good bowling is, I always tell everybody, out in the big games, like we were I also made a point last week as well. Why is test cricket exciting to see between the top 3 4 teams is every bowler in their first spell, or for an over or two, or maybe 2 3 overs, can bowl brilliant. Like, from Indus this week, Manoj Singh bowled a brilliant spell. What
True.
what do you do? What do you do collectively as a team? Is like, out of the 150 balls, the toughest ball to hit in DCL is uh, a decent pace on a good length spot. How, as a team, can you decide or work upon a fact that, okay, out of 150 balls, guys, let's make sure we are in excess of 135 or 140 that we are putting up on the good length spot. That is the discipline that needs to be shown. Who has shown it consistently over the period of time? Stars has done that. Their batting have disappointed them for a long time. I think that's why they don't have silverware at this point of time. But what other teams are consistently doing it? Titans did that in the league stages. They could not do it on a day. They were beaten by one person. They had a great start to the first innings as well. Around break time, they were not. If you ask anybody neutral, at around 10 11 overs mark, they were ahead of the game. They didn't let Stars get off to a great start. Yes, they didn't pick up too many wickets, but they picked up important wickets of Ravi Teja. They didn't let Amar get off the hook, but it was one of brilliant innings by Amar post break till the 21st over that snatched the game away from Titans. What does Titan do when they are chasing 100? They that's my belief is they, within themselves, they don't have enough conviction to look into each other's eyes and say, guys, this is just 100. If we can score 75 consistently, why can't we take it to 100? We'll do it today. It's just two or three people have to score those additional 8 7 runs. If one person gets on song, we can get that. But somehow they rely so heavily on their bowling that they find themselves in a very tough spot when it comes to, you know cross the finishing line, because a batting effort has to be involved. It cannot be that your bowling alone will win you the match. So yes, the bowling certainly gives you an advantage, but the good bowling is the current form, and not just by the big names of the reputation or what you have done in the past. It has to be done on that particular day. How do you do that on a particular day? Is be in a good shape, in a good frame of mind. You have bowled enough overs before the game. You have uh, you have the belief when you hold the ball and you start from your mark that this is the length I've been hitting all day. My body is responding well. I can do that for the team. I do not want to get into wickets. That's okay. Even if I don't get wickets, I know I can get at least 5 dots out of the 6 balls. That's how you plan as a team. That's how you work as a team. But if you think that, okay, I've been the most successful bowler at one point of time, I've done that on a lot of occasions, but on the given day you don't put that 100% effort for whatever reason, you will eventually end up losing, because, like, we have been hearing for ages now, since the time we have started to know this game, is nobody is greater than the game. If you think you have known everything, if you think you have achieved everything, if you think you can just turn up and not give you 100% and still be rewarded with the same success, I think that's a fool's paradise you are living in.
I agree. Sravan, your thoughts? It's the same question. Is it bowling on Division Two? Is it the bowling that is going to win the games, or
For Division Two, it's a combination of runs and bowling. Basically, if you ask me about Division Two, it's a combination of both. And the reason is pretty simple. If you look at the teams that won last week, like Local Boys uh, and SSK and Thunderbolts, you know, and Punjab Lions, they're actually balanced teams. They're not one-sided. They can bat, they can bowl. They have a combination of good batsmen. They have a combination of good bowlers who are very disciplined and very strong. Now, uh, like always, any team that has good bowling will try to restrict the opposition to lowest total possible, right? Because they're strong in the department. Now, the game has evolved so much. Batsmen are finding ways to respect the good bowlers and score runs of others and get to par score. And then it becomes a balanced game of who's gonna take that game deep. Uh, Here, the reason why Division Two is different is, like I said again, they don't have the fear factor, and they're mostly balanced teams fighting. Maybe in Division One, a good bowling attack and a lot of pressure probably contains the game. But any day, if there's a good bowling, there's always a good batsman. It's a semi-final, so always there's going to be that fight. So it may win you the games, but I don't think so. So you need to have a balance of
okay?
both.
Okay, interesting lines. Okay, with that, let's quickly get into our games. Stars versus Detroit Titans. I mean, we already discussed a lot about this game, but Jesse, what do you think went wrong for Titans? Is it the break or
No, I think more than anything, first of all, yeah, I like to clear my stance on the break thing. I personally don't believe it has a lot to do with how the teams are performed. Uh, Titans were up against Stars. The Indus Thunders were up against Glads. So these two games, no matter if Titans or Thunders would have been coming playing every week, it would still have been equally difficult to get on top of these two teams, because they Stars have played finals year before this one, like 2022. They were in the semi final, I think, in 2023. So there is a reason why they have been doing that. They know their strengths and weakness well. So I don't think a break in particular has got a lot to do with how these results have panned out. I firmly believe that it wouldn't have been much different, even if this format was not introduced and everybody would have been coming off a game the past weekend. And the I don't think it is the batting or whatever that has not worked for Titans or that went against Titans. I think it's their psychology, it's their lack of confidence amongst themselves to cross that hurdle in a playoff game. Uh, if you look at the history of a lot of players when they play in this particular group that the Titans have, uh, they have they can do brilliant stuff in the league stages, and not able to do that on the big stage. Why is because it depends on a lot of individualism, how they have how they you know how they manage to train their brains to react not in any different way than the league stages. There are so many classic examples that we see every day on the television as well. KL Rahul is one. He this that guy, you know there is no issue at all with him in his technique, in his temperament, in his shot making ability or anything else. It is just the fear of failure at an important junction or an important stage that makes your shoulders heavy, that makes your legs heavy, that makes your breathe the heart rate increase for no reason. Just 1 week prior, if you would give Titans a target to chase against Stars of 100, I'm not saying they would have won it, but I can bet on the fact that it would not have ended in this manner. It is
True.
it is the it is the it is the it is the individuals that that defines a lot of teams. I don't see even a single individual in Titans lineup who can raise his hand and tell conviction to his fellow teammates, guys, it is okay. It is just another game. We can win it. We have Yes, we have given a little more than what we wanted to, but that's okay. I think they just go on an auto mode in terms of batting when it is a pressure game, when it is a big match game, and they just cannot do the basic right. And it is how it is going to improve. I think they are a team who will be in this spot again and again, and until or unless they manage to somehow cross it, I think this is going to increase on their mind. This is going to grow on their minds, like the South Africa in ICC events. They just don't know, because at some point of time it is going to cross your mind that we haven't done this before. Detroit Titans, as this particular group, haven't been able to cross a playoff game hurdle uh, in so many instances. They need to break free. They need to somehow get off to a point where they have won a playoff game. Once they do that, I think they'll be a very different team in the playoffs as well. But until then, I think it is their psychology, it is their mentality of not doing the basics in the same way as they do in the league games, that is making a difference in their approach. And I think it was pretty visible in this game as well. For a moment, I watched some of the bowling that they were doing when Amar was going hammer and tonk, and they usually they are a bunch of guys who would cheer each other every ball. Even in between the balls, you would hear so many noise, so much voices, so many appreciation for their bowler, so much going on. But for a period of 4 to 5 overs that I watched, it was almost pin drop silence on the field. Uh, Everybody was going through the motion uh, like they just want something to happen by itself. If Amar gets out, then we will think, okay, what now we can do. But nobody had that killer instinct that was missing. I would say that, okay, no, it is not the case that something has to happen by itself. It is upon us that we have to make it happen. That is the mentality that you need. And how does that come? It comes from the individuals. You need those fiery characters in the team who would say, guys, this is not us. Let's do it right now. One push, other push, the third one, and that's how you become. That's why there is so much passion involved in big games. You see a normal wicket celebration is 10 times than the league games, because you know what is at stake. So it
True.
is it is individual who react different to difficult situations, and I think Titans need more individuals to adapt to that pressure situation, to react in a better way, to react in a more solid way, to react in a way that provides a lot more resistance when it comes to dealing with pressure in the big games.
Okay. The next game of the night, SSK versus Royal Challengers, the only one-sided game on Division 2. Sravan, your thoughts?
Well, Jesse summarized it very well with the word experience, and this game is a reflection of experience. So Royal Challengers Detroit during league stage and also in pre-quarters, they proved that they have good game sense. They proved that they can play as a team, but in this game they actually fumbled big time. Um, Batting first, SSK scored 85 runs. It's pretty feasible target, if you ask me, on any other day. And the kind of batting Royal Challenge Detroit has, they should have actually applied and chased it down. But close to RCD, in my opinion, to contain SSK to 85 runs. And any other day, 85 runs would have been a chaseable total for them. But SSK showed their experience and class with their bowling. And Manjunatha, as usual, come to the party, take 5 wickets, 5 overs, 5 runs, and literally crushed RCD. In my opinion, RCD lacked game sense. They have the game, they have the team. It's just that they couldn't apply, and most important to do with experience, maybe. SSK, we expected SSK to win, and SSK won this game pretty easily.
Okay. The next game of the night is Gladiators versus Indus Thunders. Gladiators, a week before, they were chasing 40 odd runs and they struggled. Yet they won. In this one, they scored 84, which is not a big one, but they crushed Indus Thunders while contained them to 44. Friday, what do you say?
Yeah. Let me go back to what Jesse said. Those are great points, Jesse. I still sense the disappointment in your voice, and I like the fact that you're making no excuses for the loss. But I still think that 3 weeks break is a long time in DCL going into a playoff game. Just my thought. Because the last game, Titans and every team that had a break played was the week before Labor Day weekend. So that's 3 weeks break. And, my thought is this. At the beginning of DCL season, even though plenty of guys play cricket during the winter, fall, every other time, but early games in DCL are always a little rusty. You can see that. And that rust definitely showed in every single one of these games, including Titans, KRCC, and Indus. And anyway, coming to the Glass Thunders game, Glass had a collapse. I mean, they were 4 for 22 in almost 10 overs. And with this, and Mr. Satya, the captain, played the captain's knock. They scored almost 50 runs in the next 10 overs. Okay? If these two guys don't perform, the tail, or if you want to call it that, I don't consider that to be a tail, but, technicality, it's completely collapsed after Satya got out. So they went from 4 for 22 to 71 for 5 in 19.3 overs, and they managed to score another 12 runs after that. Okay? And to your point, Jagan, Glads are still shaky. I am still not sold on this Glads team yet. They're doing enough to win. That's a good thing. Because at the end of the day, win is what matters. How you win, it doesn't matter. You get that momentum and that confidence. You continue to build on it. Manoj had the best spell. I mean, excellent bowling, 5 overs, 8 runs, 5 wickets. And Jalaj got 2. But, everybody bowled well, but a couple of few guys who were kind of expensive. But glad, Satya, congrats to you on your captain's knock. And that was, and we talked about this last week. Satya playing really good batting, and we were afraid that he would have to compromise or sacrifice his spot, but I'm glad he didn't. But he pretty much held it together. Him and Udit kind of brought Glads home to a total that you can defend, right? 80 is par, maybe just below par. But for Thunders chasing 84, I thought that was an easy game. Indus should have easily chased 84. They had some mishaps here. And credit to Shanawaz, who bowled really well, and Jeet taking 3 wickets there. Without those two, I'm not sure. But what shocked me about this Indus batting is the guys who typically stick around and play long innings, Manoj, Chetan, Dinesh, Ronak here, they didn't perform to expectations. Manoj was, double digits, and he's the highest scorer. Without Manoj and Madhu, there is no double-digit score at all, and which is disappointing to see because you would expect Indus Thunders to easily chase 84, but they barely crossed half the mark, right? Kudos to Glads on this. Their bowling showed up, even though I always felt Glads had a weak bowling lineup. It looks like Sean's hitting the form at the right time. Jeet's always been consistent. But playoffs, these guys show up, and that's what you typically expect Indus to do. This is their experience. But this was a disappointing loss for Indus. I would have expected this game to be a lot more competitive, chasing 84. When I saw Glass getting all out for 84, I thought, okay, the game's over. But I was shocked when I watched the scorecard later in the afternoon to see Indus losing. So anyway, good game for Glads. Congrats. Next game's going to be even more interesting, I think. So yeah, hopefully, that's my view, Jagan. This was a total disappointment to me because Indus, they have a lot of experience. They played in so many finals, but this was not what was expected of them. So disappointing loss.
And see, so more than disappointing. See, this is how I felt after looking at this. If you look at their bowling, Indus bowling, they used 9 bowlers. Okay, in a playoffs game, and so
Yeah.
that says there's no planning at all. And before coming to this game, see, any team, uh, you know, in my opinion, they'll have set of 6 bowlers, and that's what missing here. See, especially I don't know when you have Chetan, Dushyantappa, who can bowl at least, that full quota with. He has at least threatening action when compared to others. Vijay Rudram Raj, he only bowled 2, and he took a wicket too. But I don't know why um, anybody
That
uses 9
yeah,
bowlers.
and it's not so. I mean, I can see 7 or 8 bowlers being tried when the other team is scoring a lot of runs, but I don't see these guys who bowl 1 over each, right? It's not like they were expensive.
Yeah,
Yes, a wicket. Chetan bowled 1 over for 2 runs. Madhu's bowled 1 over for 3 runs. I don't know what they were trying to do, get the wicket or break that partnership, but yeah, I don't get it. And this is not what you expect from an Indus team here, right? I mean, I know they are loaded in bowling, but pick your 5 bowlers, 6 bowlers, stick with them, right? And yeah, I don't get it. I really don't. Yeah, I don't
and
know.
and I don't know why they did not try Ronak Yu. He is also bowler. And
That's
okay, that
funny.
that would have completed all 10 people, except the wicket keeper. And see, another thing, strange thing is, I heard they dropped Sundar for Rao Ganta. So that's another. I felt probably in a playoff, that's a wrong move.
Yeah,
Okay, with that,
how come Gopu didn't play? Is he in India?
I don't know. Probably he's injured or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a bad loss for them. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. The game is done and dusted, and
Yeah,
the captaincy, their
yeah,
captaincy. I blame captaincy there.
I agree.
Okay, then the next game is Gujarat Warriors versus local boys. Local boys needed 19 runs in last 2 overs. Um, Ended up scoring those what in last but one or something like that. Okay, your thoughts on this game, Sravan?
Well, this was a very fascinating game, if you ask me. Gujarat Warriors, alias Rising Stars, couldn't shine today. Couldn't shine this day at all. So before we go into the game, local boys won last but one ball of the innings, 24.5.
Correct. Yeah.
With So until the last over, last 2 balls, it was it was Gujarat Warriors game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Dinesh was the man, and Dinesh uh, killed the game in style with both bat and ball. So anyway,
See, I
game,
see. I just want to add this point. Uh, the- when Viral was bowling, in 4 overs, he ended up giving just 4 runs, but in the penultimate, see, in the 24th over, he ended up giving 10 runs with, leaving another 9 runs to score. Okay,
right?
so this is a best example, beauty of any playoff game or any DCL game. If you wait, you'll get those balls, or if when you are in desperate mode, you can hit any bowler. That's the message I kind of read in this game. Sorry to stop you. Yeah, please continue.
No, that's actually absolutely right. Viral is a bowler, and the guy bowled so well until 23rd over. 24th over goes for 2 boundaries.
Yeah.
That was really a, a blow from local boys. Otherwise, this game was done if we bowled a tight over. It's difficult to score those runs unless it's somebody like Jesse hitting 3, 4 sixes in an over. So, anyways, going into the game, batting first, Gujarat Warriors put up a decent score of 96 runs, but kudos to local boys. They bowled pretty tight lines, giving only 9 extras and containing Gujarat Warriors to something they believe is safe. So, if you look at Gujarat Warriors, top order didn't contribute much except Arvind. It was Viral and Salman, almost in the lower end of the innings, for 20 and 25. Very healthy runs for the team, giving them a chance to believe that they can defend and they can go into semis. They almost had it, 99.9%, just like the score, 96-98. 99.9% they had it. They thought this game is theirs, and they started pretty well with the ball. And they took out the first wicket cheaply. Dinesh Raja was gone for 1 for 12, and then Srinivasan, the captain, also gone cheaply. So they were pretty much in the backseat, 2 for 13, 3 for 19 in 6 overs. But a great knock by Satyajit. I think Rahul made a good mention of Satyajit 2-3 weeks ago, saying Satyajit is a great batsman and great find. He scored 40 runs. He did half of the job, or more than half, scoring those runs for local boys. And there was good support by Satish in the middle. But once these two are gone, the game went one-sided. Gujarat Warriors basically saw an opportunity, saw a backdoor entry, and pounded on it until Dinesh, the man literally took it to the last ball, almost the last ball like Dhoni, and he finished, unlike Dhoni, right, 1 ball before, sparing 1 ball as a bonus. So, well played, local boys. Great team effort. I can see that in your batting. I can see that in your bowling. And I think this team has great chance to make it to finals if they can repeat what they actually did in quarterfinals and pre-quarters.
Yeah, you're right. The next game of the night is GLCC versus KRCC. Jesse, I have more questions than you know answers.
Yeah.
See, first of all, I did not understand why you came that late when you are chasing 160. I mean, of course, on a given day, bowling can go bad. Okay, and when 160 on the board, as a spectator, I mean, I was not there at the game, and I was out of town, but I was watching, and the moment, see, this is how I felt. I'm sorry to say this one, but instead of um, see, when you are chasing 160, the game, the style of game, Raza Ali style is not what required. Jasneet style is what required. Tamim own style is what required. I hope I'm right there. So I thought, instead of coming you that late, I thought you should have come in that place of Raza Ali, or Raza Ali should have been open and played a long innings so that remaining all can go after the bowling. That's how I felt. And another thing is 9 wickets down. After that, score wasn't moving. So I had to send text to um, JLCC folks. And what is there anything wrong? Is there anything down? Okay. So they said, but you guys ended up playing with just 10 wickets. That's again surprised me. So these are the questions I have. And please.
Yeah, very, very fair assessment, Jagan, to be honest. And yeah, first of all, the day didn't start well at all when just the night before that, Yogi Bhai had some family, uh, had some tragic uh,
True.
event happened in his family, and so no, that I like the ones who played with KRCC, they would understand it 100% that uh, this team is very, very uh, you know organized only when, or when we have the leadership of Yogi Bhai. So
True.
he he could not make it to the ground, and because of the normal, like throughout the season, whenever Yogi Bhai wasn't there and I was stuck in India for a long time, so it was already decided that in case Yogi Bhai would not be there, the team would be led by Raza. So this instance also the captain was Raza Ali, and
Mm.
it was a collective decision. So there is no like, okay, there was no issues or anything that could have gone wrong or things like that. But yes, so the decisions that we are right now talking about are, we pretty much decided as a group that we have a fairly stable and performing top five. Sahesh has been scoring heaps of runs. Mujtaba has been scoring heaps of runs. Shivpal is the same. Oni is the same. And with them, Haider Bhatti has been scoring a lot of runs whenever he has played. So the top five almost, picked their spots. But after that, I think yes, there is no running away from the fact that we could have made some smarter decisions. We like I have not been into a great form, but I would agree that if like 160, you have to give your stroke makers who can change the complexion of the game within the span of 2 overs or 3 overs enough time for them to feel comfortable. But yes, on the given day, we decided, we thought that who have everybody who has been scoring runs should be given opportunity, that they should continue to do so. And with the same fact that I wanted Satya to bat in the spot that he has been batting throughout uh, the the league stages of Gladiators campaign this year, it it was almost around the same logic that uh, that KRCC captain decided, we as a group as a decided that uh, it is only fair that whoever has been scoring runs, have been showing some good form, should bat. And whatever wherever we can get to the point, then maybe I can just start from hitting from the ball one. And if there would be anything of a chance that is under the that is that can be considered under the bracket of achievable, I might make a difference at the end. And yes, the unfortunate circumstances around Mufassir had to leave the team after the first innings, after the second innings started, and after 5 overs, he got a call from his home, and there was an emergency again, and there was no chance that he told us that he could stay any minute longer. So if he had to go, uh, the rules said that he would be considered as he had batted, so that didn't
True.
leave us in a very good shape to be able to bat till the end. So yeah, these were like the things that should not have happened in a playoff games. But uh, I don't think these are the only things that we are discussing this as a KRCC loss rather than the other side, the other way. Uh, like Kaushik is a very very uh, you know attacking player, but the good thing about him is that his execution might be here and there because with every risk or every reward there is a risk, but most of the time the balls that he picked to hit are are not that okay. Anybody could tell him that okay, why did you hit that ball? It would be more of the times that his execution wasn't great that resulted in his failure. But imagine the first ball that he hit of the match was a boundary. So that means that ball was hittable. That's why Kaushik took a chance. So we didn't start on a very on a very promising note. The the opening bowlers were really not up to the mark, and when I came to change, Kaushik had me, blasting to like mid wicket square leg, and it was just uh, like I said, when Amar was hitting, the Titans had no clue, and it was almost for the first 12 overs, it was pin drop silence on the field, which is not how you can win a playoff game. You can be hit for a boundary or two. What do you do after that? Like I I always tell everybody that I play with is everybody cheers for their teammates when the going is when the everything is going so good. You are beating the batsman. You are saying, "What a ball!" Those famous lines. No clue, buddy. No clue. He has no idea. He's so late. He's gone. Wicket time, boys. A bowler who is bowling that good probably don't need your appreciation. When does he actually need your appreciation? Is you when he's struggling, when he's bowling those wides, at least two or three people have to clap loud. They have to shout their lungs out, buddy, this is okay. The pace is
I
right up there. Give,
Yeah, I totally
give
agree
10
with you.
more
Yes.
wides.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the shockers in a car are not for the freeways. They are anyways gonna be it's anyways gonna be a smooth ride. The shockers are for the days when you have to drive on a when there are potholes,
Yep.
when the road is bumpy. That's when you need encouragement. That's when you need that assurance that okay. But we were down and out by that counter attack from the front, and it wasn't just we were down and out from the bowling perspective. It was the body language that was the most disappointing. Everybody, and and in the break time there were some honest conversations that happened after 12 overs, and it was clearly evident in the first couple of overs that we bowled after. But soon after, Akash, I think, hit a boundary, and it was again the same. So it wasn't the case that everybody was there to fight. It was like I said about Titans, everybody was going through the motion, which was the most disappointing factor. And uh, I think, yes, we can say that the batting order wasn't absolutely how it should be, but and yes, in a playoff game, we have to have the belief that okay, if they can score 160, we can score one more. But it was the most disappointing fact to me was the way we conceded those 160 runs. It was it was everybody was talking about Kaushik's onslaught up front, but nobody is realizing that in still, even though it was an onslaught, they still scored six and over. And what they did in the rest of the innings in the next 13 overs was seven and over. So it wasn't just the first half that took the game away. It was the second half with Akash, Hitesh, uh, Pradip, everybody of these guys. They were relentless. They did not adapt to anybody else's game. They were like Kaushik was hitting sixes, Akash was content in hitting twos, Hitesh was content in hitting those twos because you know you don't plan for 160, you plan for 120, and on a day when the shoulders were down, you can always reach 160 because of some lackluster bowling and body language of KRCC. So uh, unfortunately, like I said about Titans, the KRCC also in the last couple of years after winning the finals in 2022, I think in 2023 and 2024, the first playoff game they played. In one game, we were not able to chase 44, and in the next game, we conceded 160, which is as bad as it can get, and it will take a lot of character, a lot of soul searching to come back from this because uh, I think losses like this is not just when everybody is thinking, oh man, I bowled bad that day, that's why we lost. No, we were not up for a fight, and that is the main reason we lost the way we lost.
Yeah, very well summarized. The next game of the night is Thunderbolts versus Phantoms. Shravan. See, one of the comments
Very,
from this
very
game.
well. Go
See,
ahead.
I just want. So one of the comments that I heard in this game is one of the umpires. He made a comment saying that I only play games. I don't know any rules. My captain sent assigned put my name for umpiring. That's the statement one of the umpire gave in the middle of the game when people are appealing or asking for explanation. So now, now you can start game analysis, Shravan.
That's actually a kind of funny statement by an umpire playing umpiring. So it just I don't know if I should. I mean, I don't know who's this umpire, but I don't know if I should pity the umpire or pity the captain who sent him to such a crucial game.
Yeah,
But I can pity the players who were in the middle. I cannot say anything to the umpire. Otherwise,
yeah.
I'll be feel like.
Pity the players. That's all. That's all we can say.
Yeah. All right, coming to this game, Thunderbolts versus AR Phantoms. I think Phantoms lacked fireworks. That's all I can tell in one line. Phantoms fireworks probably were ran out of juice. They didn't have the firepower. Coming to this game, Thunderbolts won the toss and they put a great score of 91. 91, again, this tells you the difference between bat and ball. It's pretty even. 91 tells us that, okay, it's a chaseable score where the opposition can get to, but 100 for 82. Again, it's within the margin. You see, it's not one-sided game. It's a pretty close game. So, batting first, Thunderbolts captain and Krishna. Oh no, Phantoms. Okay, Vinod took 25 balls to score 8 runs because Gautam on the side went for a knot. He was gone within the first over actually. 1.4, he was gone. 1 for 2, and 2 for 20, 3 for 27. But then comes the guy Avinash Raghu, pretty straight bat player, nice birdie of mine. Stood in the middle, 47 balls. He almost played 8 overs for 18 runs. So he's actually holding a wicket one side. And then Gurunathan comes in the middle, plays run a ball with 2 sixes, 27 runs. So it was a great partnership between those two, and 91 runs. That's all they got. So decent bowling by Air Phantoms. They actually had a great chance if they wanted to win this game, and they couldn't start well. That's what I can tell here. Because they lost Joffer in second over, then Krishna in 5th over, then Karthik in the 6th over, 7th over, they had 4 for 30. 10 overs. You look at Phantoms, they lost 5 wickets for 37, and by 12th over, they lost half of their side for 37 runs. So one thing I can look into this and say is, why did Phantoms change their batting order? What made Rajesh think that the batting order that was used before this game was not good enough? I don't know if he wanted to game deep, or maybe he thought to shuffle things, thinking this game is theirs. I don't know. So maybe a question to Rajesh here, because they lost 6 wickets for 37 runs in a playoff, and it took Teja, who was opening pretty much in the previous games, and Prithvi to make a partnership to see if they can recover. They actually tried good, Teja and Prithvi put a decent partnership, and they took the game deep. They were like 7 for 68. They were 6 for 37 and 7 for 68. They're back in the game right here. Any decent player, just soaking the pressure, taking those ones and twos, getting those extras, can take this game deep and win, just like the other game. local boys versus Kuzata Warriors. But here, I think they did not apply. The lower middle order did not apply, and the captain himself, I think, has to be blamed here because he has to believe himself and have to be in the middle a little sooner so that he can take the game deep and drive the boat. So I think just execution failure in my view from Phantoms chasing this total. It was pretty gettable total, but kudos to Thunderbolts. They were top of the table, and now they're into semis. They're looking strong, and hopefully they can make it to finals.
Yeah. The next game of the night is Pokeries versus MCC Miles. Your favorites, Brady. I have no comments on this game.
Yeah, this is our MCC Miles, right? So, I mean, they won in a great game last week or the week before. Exciting match, and you would think the momentum would carry, but Pokeries had their day last weekend, of course. Pokeries had, they did pretty good batting wise, even though I think the total in the end was kind of 84. It's just kind of, to me, it's 90, 100 is a good score. 84 is, your bowlers have to show up and execute. But their usual suspects, Saran, Arun Tinakaran, and Gautam obviously scoring runs there. There was really no pressure on their batting side, even though they lost 9 wickets. But they really didn't. I don't think they were under any kind of pressure really, because they were trying to go for the runs in the end. But they were 7 for 82 and 24 overs, or 6 for 65 and 20 overs. So they had plenty of wickets. But I think towards the end they failed to accelerate. But kudos to MCC Miles for keeping the total around 84. Praneeth and Sunil, obviously their opening bowlers, taken majority of the wickets, 7 wickets there. It looks like MCC Miles. I just don't know which MCC Miles is going to show up, and here again, it's the middle order completely collapsed, right? It's not because of a lack of talent. I mean, you look at that lineup: Sanjay, Rahul, Hemant. It looks like Deepak, they got promoted this time, which is good to see. He scored 12 runs in this game. But there was really no partnerships built. And that's consistent with Miles. They're consistently inconsistent, if you can call it that. And they also had Abhilash too, but, this was even though they got to 64, they really were 9 for 40, which pretty much put the game in Pokery's pocket. And I also think this might be their weakness. I would have to go back and look at some of the stats, but they struggle against spinners. If you look at the bowlers, Sudarshan is a left-arm spinner, Raghu is a left-arm spinner, 6 wickets between the two. And I know, I think, when was that, last weekend or sometime we discussed now? Yeah, so it looks like they struggle against spinners. That might be something they need to work on. But anyway, this was an easy game in my view for Pokeries. They were defending 84, even though MCC Miles got to 64. There was really no pressure on Pokeries bowling at all. But they were obviously 9 for 40. So this is one of those games I scratch my head. Because I just don't know which MCC Miles is going to show up. It's like peaks. It's like go up and climb Mount Everest one day, and then next day they struggle to climb the smallest of mountains. So they got some work to do. Hopefully they'll come back stronger next year with all the experiences. But their guys need to show up. Rahul had some runs, scored some runs, but big games, these are the big names that need to show up. We talked about it last week. That's what matters in playoffs, right? Your key guys. You need to have 2 or 3 20-plus run partnerships in order to get to 90, 80, 90. And if you don't, then you might as well kiss your playoff chances goodbye. So hard luck. Good game for Pokeries. And I think Pokeries are hitting it on all strides. They've been consistently consistent, which is good to see. But they have something. They have two left-arm sprinters. So I don't know who Stars are playing them. So we'll see what happens with Stars. But hopefully, the technique has to be there, right? Maybe that's the problem with MCCMA's batting is the lack of technique. I don't know. They seem to struggle against spin bowling, it looks like. Anyway, congrats to Pokeries on the big win. Well, I shouldn't say big. Well, I guess it is a big win.
It's a big one.
So, yeah. So because they were playing a good MCC Miles unit, it's just that MCC Miles didn't put it together, and this is another lost opportunity, right? They've been making the playoffs the last couple of years, but I don't think they made it to semifinals, have they? I think the quarterfinals best finish they had MCC Miles so far.
MCC
Yeah.
Miles, no.
Yeah, I think they need to figure out how to get past that hurdle because it's definitely not because of lack of talent. It's just lack of application and the mindset. So hopefully they'll.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm done.
Okay. The next game of the night is Punjab Lions versus Ratha Riders. The only thing that's I want to point is, Punjab Lions, they didn't play last 4 overs. They got all out by 20 in the 21st over. That's worrisome in any playoff game. Losing 5 overs is not a good sign. And though they won in the last button over. So that's the only worrying point. Though they won this game, which is a very close one, 7.
That's actually a great observation, Jagan Bhai. You can actually see it on the scorecard, right? So, but as the score speaks, you can see this game is also a pretty balanced game, where both the teams probably have equal strength, and the margin for error is like 51-49. So whoever did good won. Let's put it this way. Just like the other game we discussed, Phantoms versus the Thunderbolts. So this is pretty even twice. Like the margin for error is under 10. If you play this game again, maybe Ratha Riders will win.
True.
It's that
True.
close if you analyze it. Now, the thing with Punjab Lions is they're a pretty aggressive team. They want to attack and they play attacking cricket. That's the reason why you probably saw them got all out for 20 runs, 20 overs, 88 runs. But credit should go to their batsmen who actually opened the innings, Guri and Pritpal. They actually did excellent. They gave an opening partnership 40 runs, and they were in the middle for 7 overs. That could have actually frustrated Ratha Riders. Ratha Riders so far in this league, they fancied their chances being a new team, making into playoffs, making into pre-quarters, making into quarters. They had their luck to ride. They could have made it to semis. Maybe something was not right for them that day. Let's put it this way. Otherwise, they would have easily made it to semis this year. But 88 runs any day, Ratha Riders would have actually chased it down. If you look at this Punjab Lions, all they have is runs from opening pair. Other than that, there's nothing else. There was no resistance. There are no runs, no single digit. No double digit score from anybody, including Gurudeep, the captain. And there were only 5 extras. So you can tell most of the runs, or if not half of the runs, are scored by openers, and everybody else pitched in to get to that decent score of 88. Now, Ratha Riders, if they actually repeated what they did in the past with Sai Charan and Anuj, they could have actually taken this game very easily. But top 4 players, Sai Charan, Gaurish, Amarnath, and Anuj, they didn't, I would say, click, or they couldn't stand in the middle for a long time. They tried. You can see Anuj, who was pretty handy and hits those sixes if needed. Struggled, I think, to get going because he could only score 8 of 38. And until Sarkar came into the middle, and Divya, they couldn't really get going. So once those two are gone, if you look at this game, Punjab Lions also helped them with a lot of extras, 16 extras, the third highest of their batting.
True.
So, and still they couldn't win. So I think it has to do with their luck, in my opinion. So hard luck, Russia Riders. Good run so far. That's all I can say. And good luck to Punjab Lions and semis.
Okay, so we completed all the games now. Now let's quickly get into predictions. Okay, the first game of the night is Pokeries versus Stars, and it's I took opinions from several players, and uh, they were unable to give straightforward answers. Straightforward answers. People who are picking Pokeries are saying 50-49 or 60-40, something like that. People who picked Stars are saying same thing, 60 or 40. So probably this weekend's toughest game, the most tough game, is going to be Pokeries versus Stars. Jesse.
Yeah, I just learned that I might be umpiring this game, Jagan. So
Oh, okay.
I didn't
Okay.
know while the show was going on. I got a message that I might be umpiring this game. So yeah, I'll
Okay.
refrain
Okay.
from
So
saying.
I'll leave you. No worries. Ready.
Yeah, I think all semifinal games are 51-49, one way or the other. But Pokey Stars, I'm gonna pick Stars on this one, and I'll explain why. If Pokeries has to win, if Pokeries have to win, they need to get a great start. Vicky needs to show up. I think he's been struggling to score runs in the past couple of games in the playoffs. Their opening start has to be there because you're facing Deepak and I don't know who else will open for Stars, but Stars has a great bowling lineup. But it's important for Pokeries to get a good start. And for Stars facing Pokeries bowling lineup, they have better technically sound batsmen in Deepak, in Ravi Teja. And, there's quite a few guys on that team who are pretty good technically, because that's what you need to play these spinners, right? You can't just go try to swing every ball. You might get a 6 here there, but you're going to definitely get out. So it's important for that technique to be there, and I'll give that edge slightly to Stars, but I expect hopefully these games don't disappoint again. But I'm expecting this to be a really close game, and Stars I think will pull this one off.
Sravan. Shravan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I think it's gonna be Pokeries versus
Pokeries.
Stars, right?
Okay.
And I think it's gonna be Pokeries, yes.
Pokeries versus Stars. 1-1 tie at this time. It's the same. When I took opinion, it's more or less like tie, and everybody's expecting a cracker of game out of this one. Okay. So, and that's going to be controlled by Jesse. So, okay.
Jesse, get your whip out.
So the next game is SSK versus Thunderbolts. When I took opinion, it's 60-40 Thunderbolts. Sorry, 60-40 SSK, to my strange. I thought Thunderbolts has better chance to win this one, in my opinion, but people are saying it's going to be SSK. Jesse.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jagan. I'll go with Thunderbolts here. They are a team which is improving every day, and I was having a word with Avinash, one of the Michigan Cup. I was not playing, but yeah, we were playing Thunderbolts, and some of the messaging that the team have been getting from their captain, it was amazing to hear from Avinash's mouth, and uh, I think Thunderbolts is in a very good space, and I'll back them to win this one.
Okay. Pradip.
Yeah, I think Thunderbolts. The reason why I'm picking Thunderbolts, I think they have more depth than SSK. SSK is good, but there's a couple of guys. in deep into the playoffs, you cannot rely on one or two guys. Your whole team needs to show up, and I think Thunderbolts has the edge there.
SSK also has, three bowlers who are lethal, in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah,
Shravan,
I
what do
think
you say?
yeah, I've seen two, but I don't know about the third. But I've definitely seen two.
Yeah, you
Oh,
see, the
for
problem
me,
is, I have seen only one game of SSK. In that game, three or four guys, they literally three bowlers, they literally walked over all the opponents. So they were bang on. But do they have consistency? That is a question I don't know, because I saw only one game. But
Yeah,
three or
we played against them, Jagan, and then we know. I mean, there are two really good bowlers at least that played that game on that day.
hmm,
But if there's a third one that's good because that gives them more options. But yeah, I mean that's good actually if they have three.
Shravan.
Thunderbolts for me, undoubtedly.
Okay, so Thunderbolts 3-0 here, and but people are, I mean, outside our show, people are picking SSK, giving more chances to SSK. The next game is GLCC versus Glads. When I see the strange thing is, um, whoever is picking GLCC or either GLCC or Glads, they are picking because they hate at least a member of that team. That's a very strange. When I asked why are you picking Glads, they said they hate KK. When somebody picked GLCC, I asked them why. I hate Viju. It's a very strange. They are not picking based on stats or the way games went, all that stuff, which is a strange thing for me. Okay, Jesse, your thoughts.
Yeah, I think I'll pick Glads in this game. Uh, you were talking earlier about is bowling going to be a factor? Uh, Glads in their pre-quarters and their quarters against two very good teams combined have given, I think, 86 runs or 87 runs.
Correct.
And to restrict an Indus side to 44, I mean, it speaks volume of where their bowling have come. And again, watch out for Shahnawaz Ahmed. That guy makes it look like the ball is coming on the fifth stump, but every time he puts that ball on the length, it eventually ends up on the off stump and the off and middle. That's his speciality, and I'm pretty sure I haven't watched the videos of the games, but I've known Shan for long, and he is a very, very, very difficult bowler to handle. And when on song, and the results are showing that he is pretty good right these days. So I think with the Glads bowling and this, no matter how much Indus were disoriented and they used eight bowlers, the matter of the fact is that they made 88, even though they had collapsed up the order and down. But I think they would go with so much confidence, and I think they will be pretty strong for GLCC going into this game.
So, Glads. Okay. Pradip.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna use this has nothing to do with me hating or liking anybody here, okay? um, so my philosophy. So the last two games I picked against GLCC. GLCC won both games. So I'm going to stick with the same theme, and I'm going to pick Glads, hoping GLCC will win and prove me wrong. So I'm going to go with Glads. Nothing, and I'll tell you this game is going to be a batting game. I think whoever bats first definitely has the edge. Of course, we know that. But whoever bats first and puts 100, most likely is going to end up winning. So whoever it is, but I'm going to pick Glass just to stay consistent, and hopefully GLCC will prove me wrong.
Okay, Shravan.
Well, I'm gonna pick GLCC again here. Nothing against liking one team or disliking the other team. It's more to do with the current form and how GLCC took care of other two teams. Of course, GLCC is an old team under a new captain and a new team, obviously kind of renovated team, let's put it this way. But Glass is more seasoned, more experience, more firepower in both bat and ball. But somehow I still want to stick to GLCC because I believe in the combination. It's not just the captain here. Maybe the man behind the scenes and the captain probably formed the team and he kind of grouped people together. But the same bunch has been playing together in other tournaments. They know their strengths. They know how to plan. So the twist in the tail here is Satya is part of also this crew, but he's on the opposition side this time. So I don't know how it's going to play out tactically. But since the core is here, I want to stick with GLCC for now.
I think in the
Hey,
regular
Sravan.
season,
Hey, Jagan, one quick comment I want
yeah,
to make here. Yeah, so it's an upgrade, Shravan, not whatever you said. It's an upgrade to the older GLCC that we have right now. So,
Right, renovated. Paddy, it's a renovation. You made old team new.
Yeah, it's
old
an
team
upgrade.
young. We should say old team young, not new team. Okay, so the next game is Punjab Lions versus local boys. Jesse,
Yep, I'll pick local boys.
very interesting.
Mhm.
What do you say, Pradi?
Yeah, I'll go with local boys. Lions, I was expecting them to convincingly win the last one, and I think their weakness has been exposed. The weakness, I believe, might be the bowling because it looks like they used 7 bowlers last game. So yeah, I think I'll go with local boys.
Okay, Shravan,
Local boys for me.
local boys, 3-0 local boys. Let's see what happens tomorrow. We have predicted all the games, and may the best team win on the ground. I'll close the show with the last words from our analyst. I'll start with Jesse.
Yeah, thank you, Jagan, for making me a part of this great show, and which is related to the best tournament I've ever played in my life, Detroit Cricket League, and it's 2024 semifinals. And I would request all the listeners to tune in next week as well. Hook up with your phones, tablets, wherever you want to follow the game. Try to be on the ground. It's going to be some exciting cricket, and the players, especially in Division Two, if they can have some spectators on the ground, it would give them such a big boost that there are people who wants to follow the game that is not played by their team. So we have seen time and again that this has happened when DCL was just a one division league, but now it's a two division league, and let's give our 100% support to Division Two as well, and may the best team win, and we'll have some exciting coverage for you guys next week, Thursday.
Just to give an update, Jesse, for what you said. Uh, the treatment is going to be same thing. Both games are going to happen in the same venue. Venue in the sense same park. Um, both will have live streaming, and I'm damn sure people will come there and enjoy both the games.
Awesome,
Uh,
awesome,
yeah,
great to know.
yeah.
Yes.
And we're also planning to get some volunteers so that both divisions will have very good commentary also. So that's work in progress. uh Pradi.
Yeah, thanks, Jagan. It's always fun to be on the show. Jesse, great job. Shravan, great job. Good luck to all the teams that are playing this weekend. And one positive thing I would like to point out is I believe all 4 semifinalists in Division Two are going to be moving up to Division One. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Congratulations to those guys. But let's keep it going. Play hard, play fair, and let the best team win. Good luck.
Yep. Shravan.
Well, thank you, Jagan Bhai, for having me on the show. I enjoyed the show with you guys. Jagan, Friday and Jesse. And to all the listeners, thank you very much for tuning in today. Good luck to all the semifinalists, both in Division 1 and Division 2. I wish you all the very best and may the best team win.
Okay, with that, we'll conclude tonight's show. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Pradip. And special thank to Sravan for covering Rahul also here. And thanks to all our listeners. Good night.
Yep, good night.